Hey there and welcome to this KTVB Plus First Alert Weather Plus forecast. I'm Chief Meteorologist Rachel Garceau. As usual, we start with what's on the way, the lay of the land for the next several days. So we've been very warm for the last several days, and while temperatures do stay unseasonably warm for most of the work week, we do have a weak system that will move through Monday. That could bring in some stray showers, storms, some wind, and a slight drop in temperatures on Tuesday. But overall, the entire work week stays warm until the kickoff to summer officially, which arrives on Friday. But our first weekend of summer does bring in a dramatic cool down, some weather whiplash coming our way starting on Saturday. So as far as the impacts we're tracking, nothing major at this point. I'm not seeing any first alert weather conditions, at least not in the short term. On Monday, though, we will have again a chance of an isolated shower or storm, mostly in the mountains, some breezy conditions developing in the valleys. Tuesday, pretty quiet. Wednesday, Thursday end up being our hottest days of the week. And then by Saturday, that system comes in that doesn't look like it's going to bring much precipitation, but it will bring that dramatic drop in temperatures and some breezy winds as well. And we're actually talking about dropping snow levels by this weekend as well. By Saturday and Sunday mornings, our coldest temperatures we've seen in quite some time. You can see that reflected here in our 10-day high temp trend for the Boise area. We stay in the 80s and 90s for the work week. We drop down into those 70s for Saturday and Sunday. Remember, as we kick off summer, we're normally in the low 80s in the Boise area. We do rebound quickly after that, but still that weekend you might want to keep an eye on those temperatures and conditions as outdoor plans could be impacted. And by Sunday morning, with that shot of cooler air coming in, we'll likely be waking up to temperatures in the 40s in the Treasure and Magic Valleys to wrap up the weekend. So another thing to keep in mind, if you like to get out early this weekend, you'll definitely want to be reaching for that nice warm coat. But after that, again, things do start to warm up. So as far as thunderstorm chances, really the only day in the short term that we're watching is Monday. Nothing severe expected, but all of these areas highlighted in this light green color have the potential for seeing just your garden variety run-of-the-mill thunderstorms. Nothing severe, nothing too crazy, but still some very small hail, gusty winds up to about 30 miles per hour, and isolated showers could all accompany those storms as they roll through on Monday. So let's time out our futurecast, kind of big picture look across the entire western portion of the United States. The high pressure that's been in control has sunk pretty far to the south. There is that system brewing off to the northwest. This is as of Sunday evening. As we put this into motion, you'll see the main piece of energy from this system stays pretty far to our north, but we get just enough of a dip in the jet stream. This is what we call a shortwave trough that will come through, bringing just enough energy and precipitation that, again, throughout the day Monday, favoring the afternoon and evening hours, could have some rumbles of thunder over the mountains and possibly a spot shower or two across the lower elevations. Uptick in winds expected Monday and Tuesday as well, but that system moves off pretty quickly to the east. That will allow high pressure to start to rebuild for the middle of the week, and that will bring us those very warm temperatures Wednesday and Thursday, though again, even with that system coming in Monday into Tuesday, temperatures only drop 3 to 4 degrees. And then after Thursday, here's what we're looking at. We have by Friday a very strong system brewing in the Gulf of Alaska. This will make a nosedive across the Pacific Northwest. It will send a first shot of cool air our way on Saturday. We stay cool and windy on Sunday before that system lifts off to the north early next week, and that will bring back those rebounding temperatures. So Saturday and Sunday, unfortunately, yes, the weekend do look to be the coolest, most active days of the extended period. But until then, no reason to put off that yard work or washing the car. Again, until then, things are looking good. Monday, I'm giving it a fair chance for being out and about simply because of the winds that will pick up in the afternoon and the chance, very slim chance, of a shower or a pop-up storm developing. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, really the only thing that might inhibit your outdoor plans will be the heat. We'll be in those low 90s for the middle of the week, so maybe avoiding any strenuous outdoor activities for the heat of the day might be a good idea, but pretty quiet beyond that. All right, let's talk temperatures for the start of the work week. We'll be around 90 in Boise on Monday, so even with that system coming in very hot, as the cool front we're anticipating doesn't come in until later in the day Monday. West Coast looking pleasant. We'll be in the 70s for Seattle and Portland, Central Oregon in the 80s, Eastern Idaho in the mid 80s as well. So we dip a little bit on Tuesday. You can see we drop into the upper 80s in the Boise area. We'll see those mid 70s across the West Coast, 82 for Idaho Falls on Tuesday afternoon. Northern Idaho still very comfy, mid 80s in Lewiston. And then on Wednesday, things start to climb again. We're at 91 in Boise by the middle of the week. week. Same for the Magic Valley, triple digits in Northern California. Places like Redding will see 86 in Medford. Cooler though along the west coast, down to 68 for the middle of the week in Seattle, and low 70s for Portland. So a nice refreshing shot of cooler air for the west coast. All right, let's talk about that 7-day outlook for our west central mountains, Long Valley area. I know we're in prime camping season, the official start of summer coming our way Friday, but for a lot of us, Memorial Day, of course, the unofficial kickoff to summer, or at least maybe the end of school. So as we look at the next several days, things nice in the mountains. Yes, slight chance of a storm on Monday. Tuesday, we could see a couple storms hanging. It's really Saturday, though, we're watching for that best chance of some precipitation. Temperatures stay pretty comfy, 70s and 80s for the work week, dropping into just the 50s on Saturday. Look at those morning lows in places like McCall by Sunday, mid-30s. So snow levels down to about 6,000 feet by the end of the weekend. I don't know that we'll see any accumulation, but still the fact that we're talking about snow for our first weekend of summer, a very Idaho forecast, right? We've spent the last couple weeks in the 80s and 90s in the valleys, and then we kick off summer. And here comes those diving temperatures. All right, 7-day outlook for the Magic Valley. Tons of sunshine for the work week. Few clouds, maybe some wind Monday and Tuesday. Look at those highs in the 90s Wednesday, Thursday in Twin Falls. That's scorching for the wrap up to spring. First day of summer brings a very pleasant day, mid 80s on Friday across the Magic Valley. Much cooler and breezier for the weekend. But again, rain chances for the valleys very slim. We may not even see much in the way of cloud cover for the Magic Valley. But by Sunday morning, those lows in the mid 40s and highs in just the low 70s. A very brisk weekend compared to where we've been for the last several days. All right, let's talk about the Treasure Valley 7-day outlook. Boise starting off the work week and continuing through Thursday, very hot, upper 80s to low 90s. Pleasant on Friday ahead of that weekend system, 84 degrees as we kick off the summer season here in Boise. On Saturday, though, those temperatures will tumble, just low 70s, gusty winds, maybe a stray shower across portions of the valley west of Boise. Tons of sunshine for Sunday, but still that cold morning with those lows in the mid 40s. And then to wrap up the coming weekend, we'll see highs in just the mid 70s before we rebound and see warmer conditions returning for the following week. This has been your First Alert Weather Plus forecast. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.